Well, hello everyone. Welcome to the first recording for programming. And this programming class is visualbasic.net. And what I want to start with is just telling you a little bit about how you can be successful in the class. And obviously to be successful, you have to go to class. Just like anything, if you want to be a successful singer, you need to practice singing. If you want to be a successful guitar player, you have to play the guitar. If you want to be a successful employee, you have to go to work. Well, if you want to be a successful student, you have to go to class. And of course, we're just in a 9-week block. So if we take a look over here at the left, you'll see the different units in this class. And there's essentially a unit per week, except in the beginning. In the beginning, it'll go a little bit slower, but after the third week, it's going to be a unit per week. So you need to stay on top of it. Probably in the 3 to 5 hours a week is what you're going to spend. And since most of you have only 3 or 4 classes, that should be expected of you, 3 to 5 hours minimum. All right, that's enough of that. So here we are. This is called the Getting Started recording. So it'll be posted over here on this left. But what I want to do first is just show you the way I set my courses up, and then we'll go through everything on the left over here. So the first thing, we have the Welcome to Class and Getting Started. So if you look at this, it tells you how to get going in this class. So you can see that's going to be a 9-week block, and I expect everyone to earn an A, because I don't expect any of you to not. Because if I look at my class list of 20 or so students, I can't pick out any student on there that would not earn an A, so that means everybody can earn an A. So right now you have not proven that you can't do it, so that means that you can, right? I know you can. Just stay up with the work, complete things on time and to the best of your ability, and you'll get a good grade. So the steps to get started. Obviously you're going to read the course syllabus, learn how the course works, what you're going to learn, etc. So that's going to be up here. We'll go over that in a few minutes. Watch the Getting Me Started recording. Well, that's what you're looking at now. Complete the Getting Started write-up. That's right over here. Complete the learning plan assignment. That's right here. Complete the Introduce Yourself discussion. That's right here. And I also ask that you send me a K-mail, tell me why you're taking this course, what you think you'll learn, and the grade you want to earn. Then on a scale of 1 to 10, what do you know about VB programming? Finally, the last thing, make a folder on your desktop called VB Programming to save everything in it, but better yet, make a folder called Insight 2013-14 and then put the VB Programming folder in there and all your other folders in that. That way you can stay organized. It'll really, really help you. So that's what you need to do to get started. So a bunch of stuff over here. We'll go over that in a little bit. I also have here in the announcements, and I work from the announcements for most of the stuff in my class, most of the communications. Index of lesson recordings. Well, in this place, I'll have posted all the weekly recordings for everything in the class. So this is where you'll go to see the recording for week 2, week 3, etc. if you need those. All the work for the week, that's also in the announcements. So you go right here and you can see that for this first week, which is August 12th to 16th, so Monday through Friday, here's what you're going to do. Now I break things down into 2 days of the week, so here's Tuesday work. So you're going to go look at the Getting Started information, so that's all over here. You're going to watch the Welcome to Class video, and that's actually called the Getting Started video, so I'll change that. Go over the course syllabus, look at the orientation, so that's down here. Complete the Introduce Yourself discussion, so that's right here. And do the My Learning Plan assignment, so that's right here. So that's what I expect you to do Tuesday, maybe finish it Wednesday. So all of this might take you an hour at the most, hour and a half maybe. Then Thursday, you'll go down into the CO unit, and the CO unit is right down here, and you'll watch the recording. You'll do the Class Connect write-up. I'll talk about those in a bit. Then you'll go through sections A and section B. Then you'll do the quiz for this unit, and you'll skip the Getting to Know You discussion. So this is the work. So this could be like, half an hour on Thursday, half an hour on Friday, get it all done. Or I bet you could do all this stuff in probably an hour on Thursday, and then you're finished with this class for this week. So that's how I list everything. So the weekly work is always in the announcements. The index lesson recordings, that's always in the announcements. Now, another thing to share with you, the course software, we'll look at the syllabus in a minute, but some places in the course say that we're using version 2.08 or 2008, but we're using Visual Express 2010. And I'll talk about that in a minute when we go into the syllabus. So this is where you find how to navigate the course, the work to do, and things like that. So let's go up here and get started. So jumping into the syllabus. So the course syllabus, of course, at the top you have all my contact information. Of course, this year, as you probably know, we're using the new phone system with an extension. So you'll dial that number for all the teachers, and then my extension is 2010. A little bit about me. I know I've had about half of you in classes before, so you probably know something about me, and I know a little bit about you, but just to remind you, I've been a high school teacher since 1989. I taught in a regular school, and I've taught online. When I was in regular school, I was the boys varsity basketball coach for a couple of different high schools. Also coached boys and girls track, coordinated some school clubs and activities. So you can see I really like working with students and helping them succeed. I've also been a district technology director, and I was a high school counselor for a couple years. Finally, one of the things that I've done over the years is I train teachers. I've traveled around the country and to a couple of foreign countries, and I've worked with teachers on using educational technology and resources. So I really am engaged with educational technology. Live in Grand Junction with my wife and my son. My son's a senior at Junction High School. He's a fairly good student, about a B average, but he really excels at track. He qualified for state last year as a junior in the long jump, 5A long jump, and hopefully this year he'll get up to place in that event. I enjoy the outdoors. I hit the gym 5 or 6 days a week. I like reading, and I also like technology. I have, in addition to a teaching certificate, I have a master's in online teaching and learning, and I did that all online back in 2001 and 2002, so I've been an online learner just like you. I also hold a Colorado Principal's license, and I really like online teaching because I feel like I'm doing something to help students succeed. And a lot of the students, and you may be them, you're non-typical, right? You might be working, supporting a family, so you can only do school at night, or 2 days a week, whatever it might be. You might be homebound for a number of reasons, or hospital bound. We've had some students like that. So I like helping those types of students that need that extra assistance. I also enjoy the freedom and flexibility of online learning and putting new strategies and approaches to help my students. Okay, this course, the description of it. So you can see this is basic programming, so you're going to learn the essentials of visualbasic.net. You'll see the basic uses of programming languages, how it's similar to English language. We use a lot of English language terms for programming, and it's very flexible. You're going to understand the processes involved in developing software, and we're going to look at what's called object-oriented programming. So it's an introductory course that could get you into careers like software engineering, developer, game designer. But I mean, once you take this course, then you would have to look at other programming, other programs like Java, C++, etc. So there are lots of them out there, but this one, Visual Basic, really gets you off to a good start. Now on the materials list, we're going to use Visual Basic 2010 Express, and you'll click here for the download. We also have an 8-minute video. You can click here that'll show you how to go through the download. And I'd recommend you watch the video before you do the download, or at the same time if you want. And the objectives of this course are introduce the fundamentals of programming and learn differences between different languages, learn the processes in software development, think about program logics. So, logic meaning the steps that programs have to take and different platforms you use. We're going to talk about architecture of programming, just like a building has architecture, like how a building is built or a house is built. A program has architecture, how the program is built. Learn about .NET technologies and why they're so useful. Differentiate between types of applications. You're going to build, compile, and execute some simple programs, and look at some error-free software, how to come up with troubleshooting your software. 7 units in the course, and then the final project. So you can see the different pieces. So the Unit 1 is the course overview, software development and architecture. So we need to know the backbone of how programs are designed, the architecture of them, before you can start designing the programs. Then we learn the fundamentals of programming. And what are frameworks and objects in a program? They look at array lists, collections, stacks, and queues. That means we look at how data is organized in a program. How do we handle errors? And then how delegates and events. How do we make certain things happen when we want them to happen? On your grading, I try to make all my classes be 1,000 points. That way it's easy for you to figure out your grade. So let's say in the end you have 782. Obviously that's going to be 78.2%. So it's really easy to figure out. Or if you come towards the end you have 563 points, you know that that's 56.3. So you need to pick up another 32 points in order to pass the class. This is the grading scale. The number of points you would need. In my class, of course, 895 points would be 89.5, which would be an A. 795 points would be 79.5%, which would be the bottom of the B's. The bottom of the D's, the lowest grade you could get to pass, is 59.5%, or 595 points. Quizzes and exams. I do not allow students to retake quizzes and exams. Instead, I give you quiz and exam previews. And what you do with those quiz and exam previews is that you watch those, find the answers, then you go do the exams. So do that process properly and you'll do excellent on the exams and quizzes. Do not ask to retake. I will not let you retake quizzes and exams because I give you the previews. That's what I expect you to use. If you choose not to use the previews, that's your choice, but you do not get to redo exams. Using Class Connects. So I use Class Connects differently. Some teachers use the live Class Connects to show you everything for the week and teach you how to do a certain type of math or go over a lesson in Shakespeare or something like that, or go over something in geography. I don't do that. I use Live Class Connects as a time for you to do work and turn in assignments. What I expect is that you will watch my recorded videos prior to coming into that, and then you'll be able to get the work done more easily. But let's just talk about the live sessions. So the live sessions, the way they'll work, I'll take the first couple minutes and I'll go over the assignments for the week. Then I'll answer any questions anybody has. Then we will all stay logged in. I'll stay logged in as the teacher. You'll stay logged in as the students into the Class Connect. But then you'll go get some of the work completed for the week. And then I'll be right there. So if you complete some of the work, then you just shoot me a K-mail, or right there in the Class Connect, you say, hey, Mr. H, I just did the write-up. Can you go grade it? I'll go grade it right then. So that's how I do the live Class Connects. And of course, this year, Insight is requiring teachers to do 2 Class Connects a week per class. So as you can see what I'm doing, I'm going to do for this class, the first one is 1:30 to 2:30 on Tuesday afternoon, then 7 to 8 Tuesday evening. So you can attend either of those. They're going to cover the same topics. Now, talk about the weekly lesson recordings. That's sort of what you're listening to now. The weekly lesson recordings, I record on Saturday and Sunday. Then I post those because that introduces you to the work for the week. So what the weekly recordings do, they serve 2 purposes. They give you an overview of the work for the week. That's like the lecture like a teacher would give to tell you what's going on, what you're going to learn. And then they also give you the answers to the Class Connect write-ups. So if you watch the lesson recordings each week, like on Monday, then Tuesday you come to the live session and do the write-up on your own, logged into the live session, you'll have that assignment done. We'll cover those more in a little bit. So that's the two things that the weekly lesson recordings do for you. So that's all of the course syllabus. Okay, Getting Started Recording, that's what you're watching right now. Getting Started Write-Up. The Getting Started Write-Up, these are the 10 questions that you will turn in after you watch this recording that I'm doing right now. Now the ways to do the write-up. You have to do it this exact way, please. Copy and paste these items into word processor. So you highlight all of this, hit Control C for copy, open up a word processor, paste. So you have all the questions in there. Then you find the answers. So then you watch the recording like you're watching right now, and when you hear an answer, then you pause the recording, then go to the word processor and type in the answer. And you'll type in your answers directly below each item, check your spelling, your grammar, etc. Then after you have all these answered in a word processor, you copy and paste it all into the Dropbox. You do not attach a file on the write-ups. Do not attach a file on the write-ups. And some of these we can answer right now. Like what time are the weekly live class connect sessions? Well, 1 to 2 on Tuesday, and I think it was 8 to 9 or 7 to 8. But you could go right back to, you can go right here to Class Connect, and there actually 1:30 to 2:30, 6:30 to 7:30. So I actually need to change that in the syllabus. So I'll get that changed in the syllabus. In fact, I'll do that right now. So let me go right here. So I changed these a little bit. So I'll go to the syllabus and do a quick change on that. Actually, I had part of it correct, didn't I? Okay, so that's fixed now in the syllabus. Okay, back to the course and back to the Getting Started Write-Up. So again, so we answered that one. What can you do to prepare yourself for quizzes and exams? Well, you can do the quiz and exam previews, right? Where do you find the links to all the weekly lesson recordings? Well, you find those links in the announcements. We looked at that already. Where do you find the work to be done each week? In the weekly work announcement. And we'll answer more of these as we go along. Okay, the introduce yourself discussion. Introduce yourself. So you see a couple students have already introduced themselves, but in this, I just want to find out some things about you, and you can tell fellow classmates about yourself. So you can see there's 7 questions, and all you need to do, you're right here looking at it, just hit respond right here, then it'll open up a window for you to answer all those questions. I'm going to hit cancel on mine, but you can see my responses down below. So let's just take a look at my responses. So I'll hit the plus sign. I am Mr. Harrison, call me Mr. H, I live in Grand Junction. So you can see that I fully answered this question with a complete sentence, with a period at the end. I enjoy reading, the outdoors, golf, technology, go to the gym 5 or 6 days a week. So what are some of my hobbies and interests? I answered that question completely. Number 3, if you had time and money for a 2-week vacation, where would you go and why? For my vacation, I would go to a small town of Sonora, Mexico called Quino Bay on the Sea of Cortez. It's a calming, casual, relaxing place with lots of great people. So I did a complete answer. So you can see all my answers here. I even numbered them, and then I posted it. On these, I want complete answers organized similar to mine. I just don't want you to say on number 6, chocolate. I want a complete answer, please. Build some writing skills. So you click response right here to do your own post, to answer somebody. So if you wanted to come back and say some comments to me, then you would hit respond directly under mine. And I encourage you to respond to 2 or 3 classmates. Learning plan. Learning plan is a way to get you off to a good start, and also it helps me figure out how to help you. So if I look at learning plan, there are 7 questions. So learning plan is 20 points. That's 2% of your grade, because 20 divided by 1,000 is 2%. And there are no right or wrong answers, but you get graded on completeness of your answers. So as we look at this, the way to do it is first you're going to copy and paste all these into word processor. So you'd highlight the whole thing, all 7, hit Control C, and then paste into a word processor. And answer them in the word processor. On some, you just delete the items that are not your answers. On others, you type in your own. So let's say on number 1 here that as scheduled is what you're going to choose to do. So you would, in the word processor, you would delete slower and you would delete faster. And that would leave as scheduled as your answer. On number 2, how many hours do you plan? Maybe 7 or more. So then you would just highlight these in the word processor and delete them. What grade do you expect? Same thing. Explain what you do to make sure you earn the grade you want. 3 or 4 specific things. Well, don't just put, I will do the work. That's not a very good answer. Some things that can help you would be that I'm going to create a work schedule. Another thing would be that I will work in this class every Tuesday from 12 until 2 and Thursday from 12 until 2. Other things to make sure you earn the grade you want is you will turn in work on time. You will attend class connects. You will email the teacher if you have any questions. You will ask, maybe if you know somebody who's done a programming class before, you might ask them for help. So I want specific things on how you're going to earn the grade you want. Don't just put, I will do my best. That doesn't tell me anything that you specifically will do. Number 6, what are some of the things you'll do if you don't understand an assignment? Well, probably the first thing if you don't understand an assignment is to read it again. Then if you don't understand that, probably go through the lesson recordings, because the lesson recordings, I talk about every single assignment. I tell you exactly what you need to do for it in the lesson recordings. Another thing to do is maybe have a parent or an older brother or sister listen to you as you go over the assignment, and maybe there's something that they see that you're missing. Or you could have your parent read the assignment to you. Then finally, of course, you could send me an email to clarify it. You could also go to the announcements to see if there have been any updates on the assignment. There's lots of things you could do before you email me, because emailing me, that wastes time for you. Because it might take me a couple of hours to get back to you via email, when you could have probably gotten into the announcements and found out the solution to your problem on understanding that assignment. Finally, number 7, what background knowledge or interest do you have to help you succeed in this course? If you have any knowledge about programming or interest, put it down there. Okay, course schedule. Course schedule is located in the doc sharing area, so then you just go up to course doc sharing right up here, and then you can open up the course schedule. And it says as of 8/6/13, the course schedule may change slightly. It won't affect your grade or anything like that, and I'm not going to come to week 3 say, oh, back in week 1 I forgot to add something in, so you have to go back and do it. I would never do that to you. But we may adjust it as we move along based on how students are doing. And if I do adjust the course schedule, then I will have that in the announcements to tell you, hey, you need to go download the new course schedule. Class Connect. Hey, Class Connects. I said I do them different from other teachers. I post videos prior to our live Class Connect, so you're expected to watch those videos, then come to the live Class Connect to get work done. And again, I already talked about the 3 things on live Class Connects, but the live Class Connects will be an opportunity for you to stay logged in and complete work for the week. Grading for the class, I talked about that in the syllabus. All the points available. And this box down here with numbers of tasks and points, I haven't fixed that yet. I need to adjust that, so don't pay attention to this yet. But essentially just do your work and you'll do fine. Communications, very important in this class. Very important in any online class, because we don't see anybody face to face, do we? So you need to communicate properly. Best way to keep current in this class is announcements. If there's an update to something, update to an assignment, I'll always post it in the announcements. If I get the same question from a bunch of students, I'll post that solution in the announcements rather than answering everybody individually. So always look at the announcements as you start your day and over the course of the time you're working in the class. Best way to get in touch with me is via Kmail. I check that often. Unless it's an emergency, obviously, then you'll call me. But some things about Kmail. When you do Kmail, when you get ready to send it, the subject line, you have to put the course name in there, so put programming. And the reason you need to put the course name in there is because Kmail does not tell me what course you're in, and here in the beginning, I won't know what course you're in. And in the end, I might not know. I don't have a very good memory of that. And you need to put the topic of your Kmail. So this would be the perfect line if you need help with the average numbers program. This is what you would do. Then I would know when I see that Kmail, hey, this is a kid in programming class and you help with the averaging numbers program. Well, then that lets me in my mind, I can start thinking about the average number program, and maybe I've had the same question come up. So I might already know the answer to it. So don't just type in the Kmail programming, I need help. Because I'm going to come back to you and say, please send me an appropriate subject line. It's all about communications. And if we communicate properly, we can save lots of time, guaranteed. Also in Kmail, please write a new Kmail if it's a new topic, or revise the subject line. Don't just reply to an old Kmail with the old subject line. Here's an example. A little bit later today, I'll send you a Kmail that says, welcome to class, blah, 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 a bunch of stuff. 3 weeks from now, if you're having trouble with the average numbers program, don't just reply to that old mail and type in there, I'm having trouble with the average numbers program, because that's not going to help me. I want to see what your problem is in the subject line of the Kmail. So most times, unless it's a direct reply to something I've sent you, just write a new Kmail, please. And lastly, in the Kmail, be specific. If you're specific, I might get back to you with the exact solution right then, rather than us having to spend a lot of time with 3 or 4 Kmails going back and forth. And being specific means, don't just put in the Kmail, I need help with the average numbers program. You put in the Kmail, in the average numbers program, I'm trying to do the part where I need to divide the total by the number of numbers I have, but I don't know how to figure that out. I mean, be specific if you can. Need to talk on the phone. My phone number is in the syllabus. It's also in the teacher contact information. But schedule ahead of time. So you can shoot me a Kmail. Hey, Mr. H, I need to talk to you on the phone. Maybe give me a time. 2 o'clock today would be good, or 4 o'clock would be good. Then I'll come back to you. Okay, at 4 o'clock, I'll call you. What number should I call? Or you call me at 4 o'clock. Set up ahead of time. Makes life much easier. Ongoing class connects. Sometimes you might need immediate help. And as you might know, in class connects, we cannot set them up at the exact time. We can only set them up at 2 o'clock, 2:30, 3 o'clock, 3:30, etc. on the hour and the half hour. So what I have right over here on the left is something called Immediate Class Connect Sessions. We'll look at that in a minute. And we can meet in there and I can help you practically immediately. And I'll talk about it in a second. Skype, here I am on Skype. Probably don't worry about using that very often. And finally, Windows Live Messenger. I'll try to keep that open. Or this new link system that we're supposed to be using. I'll try to get those things working. Teacher contact info. Here you go, how you can get a hold of me. The phone line with the extension right there for you. Immediate Class Connects. So I talked about this a minute ago, what this does. And let's say that we're talking on the phone on 3:50 on Thursday afternoon. And I say, I need to be able to see your screen to help you with this. So I'll say, hey, go over to the Immediate Class Connect. I'll meet you there in 2 minutes. And boom, we're in there. And then I can share your screen. You can share your screen. I can look at it. All those types of things. So so those Immediate Class Connects, I sort of invented those as ways for us to meet outside of having to schedule a regular Class Connect session, which is a real hassle. So that's how the Immediate Class connects. And these we usually do if we've already set up time ahead of time to meet. Okay, academic integrity, obviously you want to go through that and look at what you're supposed to do. This says something, the assessment says closed book. Obviously my assessments are not closed book. My assessments, you have the quiz preview or the exam preview. You're welcome to use those. Orientation, go through this, pay particular attention to the success part and the study skills part. Those can help you out quite a bit. And the course help, this isn't really help about this course. This is help about K-12 in general, so you might use that sometimes, but it's really not about this course specifically. So that's everything on the left-hand side. Now some more stuff to show you, to talk about. First I want to show you, let's go down to unit quiz preview. So let's say you went through course overview unit, you're ready to do the quiz. Before you do the quiz, look at the preview. Here's the preview, look at that, 4 questions for this quiz. So now your job will be to go find these answers in the course. Once you find those answers, then you go to the unit quiz and actually take the real unit quiz. So use the preview, find the answers from the preview. You could even highlight this, paste it into a Word document, print it out, and then find the answers through the unit, through section A and section B. Then you would go do the quiz. So use the previews. They'll really help you. Now the one thing we haven't talked about are the write-ups. And you have write-ups each week. So if I go down here, you'll see there's a week 1 Class Connect write-up, and then I'll have the week 2 Class Connect write-up, week 3. And the write-ups pertain to the recordings. As an example, this week we have the Getting Started recording, which you're watching right now. We also have the write-up for this week. And here's how the write-ups work. We talked about this already. Copy and paste all that into a word processor. Find the answers as you watch the recording. Put the answer down below each item. Check your spelling, your grammar. Then once you have that all done, you highlight the whole thing with your questions and answers, and you just paste it in the Dropbox. On the write-ups, you do not attach a file. You paste the write-ups in the Dropbox. Do not attach a file. Now on my learning plan, this one, you do attach a file. So my learning plan, we talked about this already. As you do my learning plan, when you finish, you save it as Programming 1, my learning plan. That's the exact name to save it as. And you save it into your programming folder that you hopefully set up already. If you do not use the right name, you get points off. Because in programming, using technology, names are extremely important. And you submit the word processing document with this exact name as an attached file in the Dropbox. So the learning plan is an attached file in the Dropbox. The Class Connect write-ups are text pasted in the Dropbox, not attached files. So let's see. So here's how the write-ups work. So how many points is my learning plan worth? How do you submit it? Well, right here's my learning plan. Go there and you'll find the answer. Give me the exact subject line you use to send a K-mail to clarify assignment 3. Well, if you remember in the course syllabus, and actually in the communications also, or communications, I told you exactly how a subject line should be written. What time are the weekly live Class Connect sessions? Well, you can find that in the syllabus or Class Connect. How are the weekly lesson recordings helpful for you? That was at the bottom of the course syllabus. I talked about that already. There are 2 ways that the weekly lesson recordings are helpful to you. How to prepare for quizzes and exams? Talked about that, didn't I? Quiz and exam previews. Where do you find all the weekly lesson recordings? In the announcements. They're not in the course home. They're in the announcements. This is the announcements right there. Index of lesson recordings in the announcements. What else do we have here? How do you see feedback teacher gives you? Well, you go to the grade book, and then on the assignment, click the grade you earned, and you'll see what the teacher has given you as far as feedback. Pay attention to that, and most teachers will tell you how you can increase your grade. I do that. Where do you find the work to be done each day, each week? Well, if we go to the announcements, which are right here, Here's an example right here of the work to be done each week in the announcements. Let's see, what else? Where can you find the immediate help in the course? Right there, immediate class connect session. And finally, with the lowest total number of points. Now this says number of points, not percentage. Lowest total number of points to pass the class. Well, if you go to grading, right here, lowest number of total points to pass is 595. So what I've done is I've given you all the answers to the Class Connect write-ups, and this is exactly how all of my weekly recordings go that are matched with the weekly Class Connect write-ups. So like later on for this week, here's the write-up for course overview session, and I'll have this recording posted shortly. So I've shown you how everything in this course works. The doc sharing is where you can get the schedule for the course. Gradebook, of course, you can find your grade in there. Dropbox, you'll find the assignments in here where you can drop your work. Certain things go in the Dropbox, certain things as attachments, certain things go in the Dropbox as text. You can see one student's already turned in a learning plan. So that's all I have for you. Thank you for taking the time to go through this, and now you're ready to go to get all of week 1 work completed. I've given you everything you need. Well, actually I haven't yet because I need to do the course overview, but I've given you everything you need to do to complete the first part of the work for this week. So thanks for watching, everybody. I look forward to great work this block. Thank you. Bye.